I found this Loop It yarn at Dollarama, and it's the Red Heart brand, which seems to be a good brand. I've seen it online. This one is, just seeing what the length is. It's only 7.6 yards, so there's not very much on here. So I wasn't sure how far it would go, so I bought 6 balls. I did start knitting one side of a pillow, and this is to go in a 16 by 16 inch insert, because that's what I had on hand. So just to show you this yarn, it is made with loops on it. So I figured we could just use it the way I do the bulky knit blankets. It's a lot smaller, obviously. But this is what the finished side looks like. I also like how the back looks, which I think is quite cute. So I think for this pillow, I want to show this on one side of the pillow and this on the other side of the pillow. So I'm going to do 2 complete squares the same size and then hand sew them together. And I don't think I can sew with this because it has loops on it. So I'll have to find some yarn that's the same color, so it blends in. So I'm just going to start my other side. So, this is the length I want. So about there, I'm just going to start working my way back. So I'm just putting the loop through. Make sure you don't miss a loop. It's really simple. Loop inside loop. Like that, and I will continue and just go back and forth until I have a square the same size. So I'll probably put that on a speed video for you. Okay, so that's one ball of the loop yarn, and it only does half of one side, so I need to start a new ball. And this will not make it to the end, and I don't want a knot in the middle because I'm going to be using the back for the other side of the pillow because I like how it looks. So I don't want any knots in there. And you have to keep checking the back to make sure you don't miss a loop, because these loops tend to be kind of close together and they twist around. And I also don't like them twisted. So every time I do a loop, I make sure they're standing up straight and they're all in the same direction. So to tie, I'm probably going to take, I think 3 loops and cut and then I'll start a new ball. And that way the knot will be on the edge, and when I sew the pillow together, it won't be noticeable at all. So it is kind of funny tying a knot with all these little loops. But easy to do, and now it's a little complicated, but it looks like that's the first loop. So then I just continue, and we will deal with that knot when we're sewing the pillow together, so it'll be fine. So then we just continue on, putting a loop through. And I don't think I need the complete second ball of yarn, because on the first one I did cut some off. So I just needed to fit my 16-inch pillow insert. So I will, when I think I'm close to the end, check it with the first one I did to make sure they're both the same size. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, a bit of a scare here. I don't know if you can see it. I missed a loop, and that was about 5 or 6 rows back. Can you see that? So I can take all this out and start over, but because it's right near the edge, I'm going to see if I can use a scrap piece of loop yarn and fix it that way. So will it work if I just loop in a piece like that? It won't, because it won't be attached. So I have to take out all those 6 rows because I missed a loop. So this is what happens when you don't check your work. So here we go with taking it out. And yeah, back looks good. Okay, I'm gonna have to take it out to here and go over again. So I have both sides the same size now, and to finish this one off, I'm going to, how am I gonna do that? I think what I'm gonna do is the second last loop go through the first one, and then the next one to go through that. The next one to go through that. And you should get a chain at the end. Like that. Now to finish this off, I'm just going to cut a piece and tie a knot. I need to tie that loop. The loopy yarn is a little hard to do ties knots with. Just gonna tie it twice. And those extra loops can be, actually I'm tying it a third time. Those extra loops can be tucked in when I've done sewing. Okay, so how I want this to be, this is the front side and this is the back. Oh, I have one mistake right there. So I'm gonna use, it won't come unraveled because of the way the loop yarn is done. I'm gonna use this as my front side, and I'm gonna use this as the back side of my pillow because I want to show both designs. I like the way these are in rows. So that's my front side. This is my back side. So I'm gonna put them right sides together. I'm gonna do it this way. Right sides together. And I'm gonna sew 3 sides and then stuff it with my insert. No, then turn it inside out and then stuff it with my insert. So I found a couple of yarns. It looks like this one's the closest. So I'm gonna use a large yarn needle and just slip stitch the sides. So just do that in a second. So I'm just using a large darning needle, and I've put the yarn through and I'm gonna tie a knot to start it. Remember, my right sides are together with my pillow. And with the 2 pieces together, I'm just going to sew a slip stitch every quarter of an inch. And this is going to take a little while, so I won't make you see it all. But the yarn's a pretty good color match, so it's going to be fine. So I'm going to go around 3 sides, and then I'll get back to you. I have sewed around 3 sides, so I'm going to turn it right side out. I still have my yarn attached. And I'll put my pillow form in. I'm going to cut this tag off because I don't like crinkly tags. I see a missed loop right here, so I have to make sure when I'm stitching I stitch that one in so that we don't have a problem. So I'm just going to stitch up the last seam, just continuing to use my yarn with a darning needle and using a slip stitch. You can't see it at all on my seams, so it looks great. So I'm going to do that here. So I've sewed the 4th side, and you can't see the stitching because it's the same color, this yarn. And I will tie a double knot. So 1 and then 2, and just tuck that in, and the end will stay inside the pillow. So that's my pillow done, and that's the back side. Kind of gives the pearl look, and this is the front side with the chain look. And I just want to show you the difference between a bulky knit blanket and how the chain looks, and then the smaller loop yarn with smaller chain look. And I like them both. I think they look great. This one is a little more, you can see the insert because it's got looser loops, and this one's a bit tighter. So I actually like this one better. And I also really like the other side. I think it looks very cool. I have been knitting all day and my neck is sore. So I am using my neck massager. It vibrates. You just, I think that's just some lint. Push this button here and it's vibrating and helping my neck feel better. It's because I've been knitting all day. Knitting pillows and blankets and just all day long. I love it. But it's dinner time now and I'm tired. So I've got another ball of Loop It yarn, and I bought a wreath from Dollarama, and I'm going to try to make a Loop It yarn wreath. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to start with using a little bit of hot glue and attaching it onto the wreath, and then I've just got to wind it around. Every, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or so, I will add a little bit of hot glue just to keep it in place. So just going to go through a fast forward so you can see it getting done. I've used almost the whole ball of yarn. I'm just cutting off a small piece, maybe about 12 inches, and I'm just going to hot glue that end in. And it's so fluffy that you're not even going to see where it started or stopped. This wreath can be used for many occasions, so don't glue on your accessories. Just use wire or tuck things into the loops to have things attached. I have a couple of these little fluffy white birds that I got at Dollarama that I thought were really cute. They look like two lovebirds or something. And I thought that would be cute on there. In my stash, I've got a few of these felt cactuses, so I thought that would be cute as well. So just tucking those into the loops, and I have about 4 of them that I'm putting on. For a special holiday like Christmas, you can add a red bow. You can add some holly or some berries, that type of thing. That would look pretty as well. At any time of the year, you can add some greens. Here I'm adding some fake eucalyptus. You can also add flowers. So you can make this a spring wreath, a fall wreath, just, use it for different times of the year and enjoy it.